Jack sat on his small bed, looking around his quiet room. He had lived alone since he moved to the city for university. Life was boring and lonely. He missed having someone to talk to. One day he saw a strange ad online. Join the Galactic Roommate Exchange Program. Open to humans. Free rent. Meet someone from another world? Jack thought it was a joke, but he clicked it. The form looked official. He filled it out just for fun. 3 days later, a message popped up. You have been approved. Your new roommate will arrive soon. Prepare for interstellar friendship. Jack laughed. No way. This is real, he said. But the next night, everything changed. A strange sound filled the air like thunder and music mixed together. Jack ran to the window. Glowing silver pod was landing in the park across the street. People screamed and ran. Jack stood frozen. The pod opened slowly. A figure stepped out, tall, slim, and glowing slightly. It had long silver hair and bright blue eyes. Skin was smooth like glass, and it wore a flowing suit that shimmered in the light. The alien looked straight at Jack's window. Smiled. An hour later, the alien stood in Jack's apartment. My name is Xena, she said in a soft voice. I come from the planet Elverie. Jack couldn't believe it. You're my roommate. Yes, she said. We will. Share this space now. She looked around, confused. Where is the gravity controller? In the nutrient wall. Jack blinked. We have a microwave. Xena tilted her head. Microwave sounds violent. The next few days were strange. Xena didn't understand Earth customs. She walked around the apartment without knocking on doors. She asked personal questions at the dinner table. She stared at the TV like it was magic. Jack tried to teach her human rules. We knock before entering someone's room, he said. Why? She asked. For privacy. Privacy. Jack sighed. It means not seeing someone naked? Naked? She asked, puzzled. Never mind, he said, turning red. But Xena was kind. She was curious, always asking questions. She loved human food, especially chocolate milk. She smiled when Jack played music, and sometimes she looked at him like she was trying to understand something deeper. Jack didn't feel lonely anymore. He felt seen. Then came the night. Everything changed. It was late. Jack had taken a shower. He stepped out of the bathroom. With just a towel, he walked to his room, humming a song. As he turned the corner, the door opened. Xena stood there. They both froze. Jack's eyes went wide. Xena. Her eyes were glowing. Brighter than ever, she looked at Jack, but not in a normal way. Her gaze was deep, like she saw something inside him. Then suddenly, she fainted. Her body dropped to the floor. Jack rushed to her side. Xena, are you okay? She didn't answer. Her skin flickered, glowing blue, then white, then blue again. Finally, she opened her eyes. She looked at Jack with fear and something else I saw. She whispered, I saw the mark. What mark? Jack asked. You are not fully human, she said. Jack laughed nervously. What are you talking about? But Xena shook her head slowly. No, you are something more. I must report this. This is it. Jack stepped back, confused and scared. Xena, it was just an accident. You walked in. I didn't mean she stood up. Her expression was serious now. You don't understand, she said. This changes everything. She walked away, leaving Jack standing there wet, confused, and full of fear. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He looked at himself in the mirror. He saw nothing strange. But just as he was about to turn off the light, a soft glow appeared on his chest. A small symbol, bright and warm, like a tattoo. But not from this world. Jack stared at it, frozen. From the other room, he heard Xena whispering in her alien language. Her voice was urgent, and then he heard her say in English, I found him. He has the signal. He must never know the truth. Jack sat beside Xena, watching her breathe slowly. Her skin no longer glowed. Her face looked pale, almost human. He kept replaying her words in his mind. You are not fully human. I must report this. He didn't understand. Was she joking? Or was she really afraid of him? The morning light came, but Jack hadn't slept. Xena finally opened her eyes. She looked at Jack, not like a friend, like a soldier watching something dangerous. You saw something, Jack said quietly. Tell me. Xena sat up and touched her head. You carry a signal, she said. Something ancient. Something lost. Like a disease? Xena shook her head. No, more like a forgotten code, hidden inside your blood. Jack laughed nervously. Okay, Xena, I think you hit your head too hard. But Xena's voice remained calm. Last night when I saw you, I didn't just see your body. I saw a mark glowing under your skin, a sign of the Starborn. Jack stood up. Xena, I'm just a regular guy. I go to class. I eat cereal. Don't even go to the gym. She looked up at him. Do you ever feel different? Stronger? Quicker? Smarter than others? Jack paused. That question was too close to the truth. Sometimes he did feel different. Sometimes he did feel like he didn't belong, but he always ignored it. Xena walked to the window and whispered, The Starborn were made long ago. Part alien, part human. Hidden across galaxies. If you carry their mark, others will come for you. Jack scoffed. Like who? But Xena didn't answer. Instead, she touched her wrist device. A small screen lit up, and alien text glowed. Jack leaned closer. Are you calling someone? Xena quickly turned it off. No, she lied. Later that evening, Jack tried to act normal. He played video games, made popcorn, even asked Xena if she wanted to watch a movie. She nodded and sat on the couch beside him, but she was stiff, uncomfortable. Halfway through the movie, Jack asked Xena, What happens if others find me? Didn't speak for a moment. They'll erase your memory, she said finally. Or worse, remove the source. Jack laughed, but his eyes didn't. And you? What will you do? Xena looked at him and whispered, I don't know. That night, Jack couldn't stop thinking. Was Xena protecting him? Or was she spying on him? He went to his room, turned off the lights, and tried to sleep. Suddenly, he heard a soft voice from Xena's room. She was speaking in her alien language again. Jack got up quietly and walked closer. Through the thin wall, he heard words he didn't understand, except for one line in English. He is changing faster than we thought. Then silence. Jack walked back to his room, heart pounding. He pulled off his shirt and looked in the mirror. There it was again, that same glowing symbol on his chest, brighter now. Pulsing softly like a heartbeat, Jack touched it. His hand felt warm, almost electric. Suddenly, his vision blurred. The room spun. He collapsed on the bed and everything went dark. He opened his eyes in a strange place, not Earth. He stood on a floating platform in space. Around him, stars danced like fireflies. Giant alien statues floated in silence. Each one had the same glowing mark on their chest. Then a voice echoed, You are not alone. You are one of us. Jack reached out, and the mark on his chest glowed like fire. He woke up screaming. Xena ran into the room. What happened? She asked. Jack looked at her, eyes wide. I saw them. Starborn. Dinah didn't look surprised. Instead, she knelt beside him and said softly, Then it has already begun. Just then, Jack's window exploded. A dark figure landed inside the room wearing armor, glowing red eyes and holding a blade made of energy. Xena jumped in front of Jack. Don't move, she shouted. The intruder hissed, raising his blade. Xena looked at Jack. I'm sorry, she said. Then she pulled a hidden device from her belt, slammed it on the floor, and they both vanished in a flash of blue light. Jack blinked. 1 second ago, he was in his bedroom. A blade pointed at him now. He stood in a glowing blue tunnel, floating between two worlds. Beside him, Xena was breathing fast. Her face was pale. Her hand tightly held a small crystal device that buzzed with energy. Where are we? Jack asked. A jump stream, she said. We're between locations. We have 10 seconds before it collapses. Jack tried to breathe, but everything around him spun like liquid light. 10 seconds to what? Before Xena could answer. They fell. They landed hard in a cold, silent place. Jack groaned and stood up, brushing dirt off his arms. The air smelled like metal and snow. They were in an abandoned underground base, half broken, full of machines Jack didn't recognize. The walls were made of black stone, and soft light came from strange plants glowing in the dark. Xena looked. Around, we're safe. For now, Jack stared at her. What was that thing back there? Who was he? Xena didn't look at him. He's a tracker. He hunts those who carry the signal, like you. Jack walked to a cracked mirror on the wall. The mark on his chest was now a symbol made of 3 lines crossing a circle, glowing. Pulsing, he touched it suddenly. The machines in the room turned on. One by one, screens lit up. Lights blinked. Doors unlocked. Xena stared in shock. This place was dead for 50 years. You just woke it. Jack stepped back. I didn't do anything. You did, Xena said. Your blood speaks to the systems. You're more than human. Soft robotic voice echoed in the room. Welcome, Starborn subject. Code 231. Vital signs active. Awakening protocol started. Jack shook his head. What is all this? Why is this happening to me? Xena finally turned to him. Her voice was softer now. A long time ago, she said, our ancestors came to Earth. They were dying. They needed a way to survive. So they created ... people, Jack asked. They created you, she said. A bloodline, hidden, sleeping. Until now. Jack sat down, breathing heavily. I'm just a guy, Xena. I go to university. Can't. Be some space, chosen one. Xena walked over, knelt beside him, and placed her hand on his shoulder. You're not a hero yet, she said, but something inside you is waking up. Then she looked around, and we need to find out what. They searched the base. In one room, they found an old alien suit, dusty, but glowing when Jack came near. It scanned him and reshaped itself. Wrapping around his body, it didn't feel like armor. It felt like it knew him suddenly. A siren went off. Incoming transmission, the system said. Xena froze. A hologram appeared in the air, showing a group of alien leaders. One of them looked directly at Xena. Agent Xena of Elvery. You were ordered to bring the Starborn back to us. Xena bowed her head. He is not ready yet. You do not decide readiness. Return him now or face consequences. The hologram ended. Jack stared at her. They wanted you to take me? Against my will? Xena looked ashamed. At first, yes, that was the mission. But now, Jack stepped away. Now what? I don't know who I trust more of them, or you. Before Jack could speak, the ground shook. Xena ran too. A screen. Another tracker's coming. He's faster, stronger. Jack looked down at his chest. The mark was burning now. What do I do? He asked. Xena handed him a small cube. This is a memory key. If anything happens to me, take it. Holds the truth about who you are. Jack took it, heart pounding. Then the door behind them exploded. A figure stepped through. Bigger than the last one. Red armor. No face. Just glowing white eyes and claws made of energy. Xena raised her hand, trying to fight, but the figure threw her across the room with a single wave. Jack screamed. Yes. Xena. The figure turned to Jack, silent, deadly. The mark on Jack's chest flared. His eyes went white. Everything slowed. He raised his hand, outthinking, and the walls shook. Energy exploded from his body. Machines melted. The ground cracked. The intruder screamed, and then silence. Jack stood in the middle of the room, alone. Na was unconscious. The attacker was gone, vaporized, and Jack's hands were still glowing. He dropped to his knees, gasping for air. The memory key fell from his pocket, sliding across the floor. He crawled toward it and touched it. A voice whispered from the cube, This is only the beginning. Your true form is still locked inside. Night in the city looked normal. Cars moved, lights blinked, people walked, But nothing was normal for Jack anymore. He and Xena rushed through the underground tunnel, footsteps echoing behind them. Dust fell from the walls. The base was collapsing after the energy blast Jack released. Xena clutched a small glowing box, the memory key. Jack kept looking at his hands, which still felt hot. "I didn't mean to do that," Jack said, breathless. "I just... reacted." "You didn't just react," Xena said. "You released pure energy. That shouldn't be possible." Jack's voice shook. "I thought you said I wasn't ready." "You're not," she said. But the universe doesn't care about timing. They reached a ladder and climbed up. A rusty metal door opened to a quiet alley in the middle of downtown. Jack looked around. Neon signs, street food, laughing crowds. Life was happening like nothing was wrong, but to Jack, everything had changed. He now knew he wasn't human, and someone out there wanted him gone. "Act normal," Xena said. "Easy for you to say. You glow and carry a space cube." Xena hid the device inside her jacket and pulled up a hoodie. They walked into the crowded street. Jack tried to blend in, but he could feel something. Watching, then he heard it, a high-pitched buzz like a fly in his brain. He turned. A tall man in a suit was following them. At first glance, he looked human. But his eyes, they flickered red for a second. "Xena," Jack whispered. "Behind us." She didn't turn. "I know. Keep walking." I turned into a bookstore. Xena led Jack through aisles of dusty shelves and stopped near a back door. "Hold on," she said, pulling out a small circular device. "This will create a false trail." But before she could activate it, the back wall exploded. Books flew everywhere. People screamed and ran. Smoke filled the air. Jack saw 3 figures walking in, their skin dark. Armor metallic and no eyes, just smooth faces and sharp claws. "Run," Xena shouted, pulling Jack's arm. They sprinted through the broken back door, into the alley, then across a busy street. Cars honked. Lights flashed. The attackers followed, fast, silent, unstoppable. Jack looked back. One of them jumped over a car like it weighed nothing. "We can't outrun them." Jack said. "We don't have to," Xena replied. "We just need to reach the lab." "What lab?" "The one where your real story began." Jack didn't ask more. He just ran. They entered an old train station. Escalators were broken. The digital maps blinked with static. Xena led him to an abandoned elevator and typed in a strange code. The floor beneath them shook, and the elevator began to move downward, deeper than the subway lines. Jack leaned against the wall, heart pounding. "Why are they after me? What do they want?" Xena looked at him. "They don't want you. They want your blood, your signal, your power." Jack swallowed hard. "Do you want it too?" Xena's silence said more than words. The elevator stopped. They entered a hidden lab, dark and cold. Machines were covered in dust. But as Jack stepped forward, the entire room lit up. "Welcome, Starborn subject," a robotic voice said. Xena stared. "It still remembers you." Jack walked to a table where a device floated above a metal pad. The moment he touched it, a hologram appeared, a baby floating in a pod. Xena stepped forward. This is you." The recording spoke. Hybrid code. Jack 231. Status. Unawakened. Memory blocks. Active. Destiny. Leadership of the Flameborn. Jack turned to Xena. "What's a Flameborn?" She didn't answer because the wall behind them cracked open. The trackers had found them. One leaped forward. Xena tried to fight but was thrown across the room. Jack grabbed a tool from the table and swung it at the creature. But it bounced off like paper. The attacker raised its blade. Jack raised his hands, screaming. Power surged again, but this time it was different. It didn't explode. It pulled in. Every electronic machine, every wire, every light at all. Bent toward him like metal to a magnet. The lab turned into a storm of energy. The trackers were pulled back, screaming, and then turned to dust. Jack collapsed, shaking, the lights around him dimming. Zinna crawled over, coughing. That power. You're evolving. Jack looked at his hands. It's like I'm becoming something else. No, Zinna said. You're becoming what you were meant to be. Then the memory cube in her pocket buzzed. A projection of her alien commander appeared. Zinna, you have gone too far. Bring him in, or we will bring destruction to Earth. The message ended. Jack looked at her. Is that a threat? Zinna looked away. No, she said. It's a promise. Jack sat in silence, staring at the empty lab wall where the warning had just appeared. Bring him in, or we will bring destruction to Earth. Zinna didn't say a word. She stood with her back to him, breathing slowly as if trying to decide. Something very hard, Jack, broke the silence. He said they were just watching me. Zinna stayed quiet. You said I was special, that I had a choice. Still no answer. Then Jack's voice cracked. Did you ever plan to take me back to them? She finally turned. Yes, she said softly. That was my mission. Jack stepped back. I trusted you, he said. I never lied, she whispered. You didn't tell the truth either, he shouted. Zinna looked down. At first you were just an assignment. I was supposed to observe you and return you if the signal woke up. Jack laughed bitterly. Well, congrats. Signal's awake. Mission complete. Zinna shook her head. It changed. You changed. I changed. Jack's fists clenched. But you still kept talking to them. You told them where we were, didn't you? Her eyes widened. No, I swear, Jack. I never gave them coordinates. But he didn't believe her. Jack turned, walking toward the lab's broken exit. Where? Are you going? She asked. Away from you? You don't understand, they'll track you. The more power you use, the easier it gets for them. Good, Jack said. Let them come. Zinna grabbed his arm. Jack, please, don't be stupid. He pulled away. You already made your choice, Zinna. Let me make mine. And with that, he walked into the city's tunnels alone. Above ground, Jack stepped out into the rain. Neon lights reflected in puddles. People passed by, umbrellas in hand, unaware of the alien blood running through the man beside them. He had nowhere to go, no one to trust. He entered an empty train station and sat on a bench, thinking. But he wasn't alone for long. A sharp, cold voice echoed through the station. Jack 231. The stray has left his handler. Jack stood up. 3 alien hunters walked in, taller than before, armed with long energy staffs. Their faces looked human, but their eyes glowed blue fire. One of them spoke again. Your power does not belong to you. Bloodline. Return it or be removed. Jack smiled slightly. You want the power? His chest mark flared. Come take it. The fight was fast and brutal. Jack dodged energy swirling around him. He fired blasts from his palms, knocking 2 attackers backward, but the third was stronger. It slammed Jack. Against a pillar, everything blurred. Pain rushed through his body. Then, just as the blade came toward his chest, a flash of green light struck the attacker Z. Nah. She stood in the shadows, holding a high-powered alien rifle. I told you not to go alone, she said. Jack fell to his knees. Zinna ran to him, firing again. Get behind me. The fight turned chaotic. Zinna covered Jack while he tried to recover. One by one, the hunters fell. Zinna helped Jack to his feet. He looked at her, confused. Why did you come back? She touched his face gently. Because I made the wrong choice once. I'm not making it again. Jack's eyes filled with tears, but he didn't speak. Then suddenly a sharp sound rang out. A hidden enemy struck from behind. Zinna gasped and fell. No, Jack screamed. He caught her in his arms. Her side was glowing red. Wounded by a plasma blade, she looked up at him, struggling to breathe. I'm sorry. I tried to protect you. Jack gripped her tightly. You're not dying, not now, not like this. Her hand reached for his chest, touching the mark. Unlock it, she whispered. You're ready. And then Her hand dropped. Zinna. Lost consciousness, rage filled Jack's heart. The mark on his chest burst open in light, not just a symbol, but a burning crest. The entire station shook. The final attacker turned to run, but it was too late. Jack floated into the air, eyes glowing white, power surrounding him like a storm. He raised one hand, and the enemy turned too. Silence, the storm faded. Jack dropped to the ground beside Zinna. She was still breathing barely. He picked her up in his arms. This time, he wouldn't run. This time, he would fight. Not just to survive, but to protect. The stars above Earth faded into darkness as the ship moved beyond the clouds. Jack sat inside the alien transport pod, holding Zinna in his arms. Her breathing was shallow. Her body glowed weakly. Like a fading flame, he had taken the emergency ship hidden in the train station's lower level, the one Zinna had told him never to use unless everything was lost. Now, everything was. Jack stared at the stars ahead, whispering, "Just hold on, please." The ship spoke gently. Destination locked. Sanctuary moon, Elindra Prime. An hour later, the pod entered orbit around a strange moon. Elindra Prime was not like Earth. The sky shimmered with colors Jack had never seen. Deep blue winds, floating crystal trees, rivers made of light, but Jack wasn't here to explore. He ran through the alien sanctuary, shouting, "Help! She's dying!" Tall beings appeared, not machines, not people, something between. Their robes floated. Their eyes shone like soft suns. They touched Zinna and carried her inside a healing chamber. Jack tried to follow, but a force stopped him. A voice said she must walk alone through the mist. Jack dropped to his knees. "Don't let her die." The alien spoke again. "That is not your choice, but you must face the flame within." While Zinna was treated, Jack was led into a quiet hall full of floating lights. The walls showed scenes, not videos, but memories. He saw a baby in a pod. Himself, he saw a war, alien versus alien, fire against steel. He saw thousands of Starborn. Like him, hybrids made to bring peace, but hunted like weapons. He saw a dark figure. A traitor with the same mark on his chest, but blackened, twisted. Then a message echoed. Every Starborn must awaken, but one must rise. Suddenly, Jack felt dizzy. The floor vanished. He fell through space, but not with fear. He landed in a memory, not someone else's. His own. He stood in a field of stars, wearing ancient armor. Zinna was beside him, not weak, but glowing like a queen. They were surrounded by fire. Facing a massive black gate in the sky, Jack heard his own voice, not now, but from another life. "If I die, remember this earth is not my home, but it is where my heart is." The gate exploded open, and a dark version of Jack stepped out, laughing. Jack snapped back into reality, gasping. His hands glowed. His chest burned. His eyes saw more than before. The alien elder stood in front of him. "You are close," he said, "but still chained." Jack looked up. Chained by what? The elder placed a finger on Jack's head. By fear. Then handed him something wrapped in soft white cloth. It was a weapon, but not made of metal. It was light itself, shaped like a blade. "Only one with balance may carry this," the elder said. "It is not for killing, it is for becoming." Jack touched it. Memories flooded in laughter, war, pain, love, betrayal, everything. He dropped the weapon, shaking. "I'm not ready," he whispered. The elder replied, "No one ever is, aunt." Soft chime echoed. Zinna had awakened. Jack ran into the healing chamber. She was sitting up, pale but smiling faintly. "You came back," she said, voice weak. "Of course," Jack said. "I didn't leave you last time either," she smiled. "You're changing," he nodded, "and it scares me." She held his hand. "That means you're still human." A little, but peace did not last. A massive vibration shook the moon. Alarms blared in the sanctuary. Jack looked up at the sky. A giant warship had appeared. Black and red, shaped like a spear. It was them, Zinna's people, and they weren't here to talk, the alien elder said. You must leave. They want the Flameborn, dead or controlled. Jack stood, fists clenched. No, he said. I'm done running. He looked at Zinna. Are you with me? She stood slowly and nodded. Always. Together, they walked to the top of the sanctuary. Jack now held the blade of light. He wasn't just Jack anymore. He was the Flameborn. And this time, he would fight back. The black warship covered the sky like a dark cloud. Its red lights flashed like angry eyes. The sanctuary moon trembled under its power. Jack stood on the high tower. Wind rushing past him, Zinna by his side. He looked down at the weapon of light in his hand. It no longer felt strange, felt like a part of him. Zinna whispered. They're here for you. Jack nodded. Then I'll give them an answer. The enemy ship sent down a voice through speakers. Flameborn, surrender. Come home, or we'll destroy everything. Jack closed his eyes. He thought about Earth, his small apartment, his simple life. The shower incident that started it all. Now, he was standing on an alien moon, about to fight a galactic war. He looked at Zinna. If I go with them, will they stop? Zinna's face was sad. No. They want to use you, control you. If they win, freedom dies. Jack tightened his grip on the blade. Then I've made my choice. The sky split open. Enemy soldiers, tall, dark, and armored, dropped from the ship like rain. The alien sanctuary defenders ran forward. Zinna and Jack jumped into the battle. Jack moved like lightning. His blade cut through metal without killing. It was pure energy, reacting only to evil. Zinna fought beside him, spinning, jumping, striking with power and grace. But they were outnumbered. Suddenly, Jack felt something rise inside him like a storm waiting to explode. He screamed. And a wave of golden light burst out from his body. Every enemy soldier around him was pushed back, weapons flying from their hands. Zinna turned to him. You've awakened, fully. Jack was glowing like a star now. His voice was calm but powerful. I remember everything now, he said. Who I am, who they are, why I was hidden on Earth. A giant enemy leader landed in front of him. Black armor, red eyes, and a voice like thunder. You are one of us. You were made for war. Jack shook his head. No, I was made for peace. The leader attacked. They clashed. Power versus light, darkness versus memory. Jack was losing at first. But then he looked back and saw Zinna, injured and surrounded. He shouted with pain, not from fear, but love, and that love gave him strength. With a final strike, Jack's blade pierced the dark leader's chest, but instead of killing him, the light spread. The leader screamed, changing, becoming something soft, human again. He collapsed, whispering, "Thank you for freeing me." The warship stopped firing. Everything became still. Zinna stood slowly, blood on her lips, but a smile on her face. You did it, she said. Jack held her. You did. Later, the leaders of the sanctuary offered Jack a place in their council, a hero, a symbol of unity. But Jack shook his head. I don't belong here forever. My heart still beats for Earth. They nodded. Then go. But remember who you are. Jack and Zinna walked back to the same escape pod they arrived in. As the ship rose into the stars, Zinna asked, So, Earth? Jack smiled. Yeah. I think we left the window open. They both laughed. 3 months later, Earth Jack sat on the sofa, drinking tea. Zinna was wearing Earth clothes now, awkward but cute. She looked at him and asked, So, when will I get my own towel? Jack raised an eyebrow. After you. Stop walking in on me. They both laughed again, not as warriors, but as friends. Maybe something more. Outside, stars were calm again, but deep inside Jack, a flame still burned. Not for war, for hope.